Hi, this is Jason Molesky. In this example, we'll take a look at checking the conditions for inference about the regression model. Mrs. Barrett's class did a variation of the helicopter experiment. Students randomly assigned 14 helicopters to each of 5 different drop heights. Teams of students then released the 70 helicopters in a predetermined random order and measured the flight times in seconds. The class used Minitab to carry out a least squares regression analysis for these data. Now, a scatter plot here shows the 5 different drop heights. We have 14 helicopters for each drop height, and we can see a little bit of variability in terms of the flight time for each of those drop heights. And it appears in general as the drop height increases, the flight time also increases. Now, a scatter plot, a residual plot, a histogram of those residuals, and a normal probability plot of those residuals are all shown here. We'll use these to check the conditions. Now, to check the conditions for performing inference about the regression model, it's helpful to use the LINER acronym. So the first thing we'll want to check is linear. Well, the scatter plot here does show a clear linear form. For each drop height used in the experiment, the residuals are centered around the horizontal line at 0. There doesn't appear to be a pattern. There's a random scatter about the horizontal line, so it does appear as though the linear condition is met. Now, for independence, because the helicopters were released in a random order and no helicopter was used twice, knowing the result of one observation should give no additional information about another observation, so the independent condition is met. Now, for normal, the histogram of the residuals is a single-peaked, unimodal, and somewhat bell-shaped distribution. In addition, when we look at the normal probability plot, we see that's very close to linear. Both of these suggest the normal condition is met. For the equal variance condition, we again look at the residual plot, and we see there's a similar amount of scatter about the residual equals 0 line for each of the drop heights represented here. Although flight times around the drop height of 300 do seem to vary more for the helicopters than were dropped from the rest of the heights. So we do question this condition a little bit. However, the helicopters were randomly assigned to the 5 possible drop heights, so that condition is met, and except for that slight concern about the equal variance condition, we say we're pretty safe performing inference about the regression model in this setting. Now, for some additional practice in checking the conditions for inference about the regression model, try exercise 3.